Hi, readers. We are on chapter 4 in Crenshaw. So, last we left off, our main character, Jackson, has now started seeing his invisible friend, Crenshaw, this very interesting cat. And we know that this is interesting for Jackson because he is actually someone that doesn't really believe in make believe things. He's a very serious kid. So let's see what happens in chapter 4. And then at the end, I'm going to have you write in your journal some of your thinking about this chapter. So go ahead and find a comfy spot and follow along with me. After a few hours after my Crenshaw sighting at the beach, he appeared again. No surfboard this time, no umbrella, no body either. Still, I knew he was there. It was about 6 in the evening. My sister Robin and I were playing a cereal ball in the living room of our apartment. Cereal ball is a good trick for when you're hungry and there's not much to eat till morning. We invented it when our stomachs were grumbling to each other. Wow, I would love a piece of pepperoni pizza, my stomach would growl, and then hers would grumble. Yeah, or maybe a Ritz cracker with peanut butter. Robin loves Ritz. Cereal ball is easy to play. All you need are a few Cheerios or even a little piece of bread all torn up. M&Ms would be good too, if your mom isn't around to say no sugar. But unless it's right after Halloween, you probably don't have any. In my family, those guys go really fast. First, you pick a target to throw at. A bowl or cup works fine. Don't use a wastebasket because that might have germs. Sometimes I use Robin's T-ball cap, although that's probably pretty gross too. For a 5-year-old, that girl can really sweat. What you do is throw your one piece of cereal and try to make a basket. The rule is you can't eat that piece until you score. Make sure your target's far away or you'll finish your food too fast. The trick is that you take so long to hit the target, you forget about being hungry for a while. I like to use Cheerios and Robin likes Frosted Flakes, but you can't be picky when the cupboard is bare. My mom says that sometimes. If you run out of cereal and your stomach's still growling, you can always try chewing a piece of gum to distract yourself. Stuck behind your ear is a good hiding place if you want to use your gum again, even if the flavor is gone and your teeth get a workout. Crenshaw showed up, at least he seemed to show up, while we were busy throwing my dad's brand cereal into Robin's cap. It was my turn to throw, and I got a direct hit. When I went to take out the cereal piece, I found 4 purple jelly beans instead. I love purple jelly beans. I stared a long time at those things. Where did the jelly beans come from? I finally asked. Robin grabbed the cap. I started to pull it away, but then I changed my mind. Robin is small, but you don't want to mess with her. She bites. It's magic, she said. She started dividing up the jelly beans. 1 for me, 1 for you. 2 for me. Seriously, Robin, stop kidding around. Where? Robin gobbled down 2 jelly beans. Schlepp them, she said, which I figured meant stop teasing me, in candy mouth. Aretha, our big Labrador mutt, rushed over to check things out. No candy for you, Robin said. You are a dog, so you eat dog food, young lady. But Aretha didn't seem interested in the candy. She was sniffing the air, ears cocked toward the front door, as if we had a guest approaching. Mom, I yelled, did you buy some jelly beans? Sure, she called back from the kitchen. They're to go with the caviar. I'm serious, I said, picking up my 2 pieces. Just eat Dad's cereal, Jackson. You'll poop for a week, she answered. So, boys and girls, a little side note here. That kind of cereal makes you go to the bathroom. A second later, she appeared in the doorway, a dish towel in her hand. Are you guys still hungry? She sighed. I've got a little mac and cheese left over from dinner. And there's half an apple you could share. I'm fine, I said quickly. Back in the old days when we always had food in the house, I would whine if we were out of my favorite stuff. But lately, we'd been running out of everything, and I had the feeling my parents felt lousy about it. We have jelly beans, Mom, Robin said. Well, okay then, as long as you're eating something nutritious, said my mom. I get my paycheck at Rite Aid tomorrow, and I'll stop by the grocery store and pick up some food after work. She gave a little nod like she'd checked something off a list and went back to the kitchen. Aren't you going to eat your jelly beans? Robin asked me, twirling her yellow ponytail around her finger. Because if you want me to do you a big favor, I guess I could eat them for you. I'm going to eat them, I said. Just not yet. Why not? They're purple, your favorite. I need to think about them first. So friends, where did these jelly beans come from? I'm wondering. You're a weirdo, brother, said Robin. I'm going to my room. Aretha wants to play dress up. I doubt that, I said. I held a jelly bean up to the light. It looked harmless enough. She especially likes hats and also socks, Robin said as she left with the dog. Don't you, baby? Aretha's tail wagged. She was always up for anything. But as she left with Robin, she glanced over her shoulder at the front window and whined. I went to the window and peered outside. I checked behind the couch. I flung open the hall closet. Nothing. Nobody. No surfing cats. No Crenshaw. I hadn't told anybody about what I'd seen at the beach. Robin would just think I was messing with her. My mom and dad would do one of two things. Either they'd freak out and worry I was going crazy, or they'd think it was adorable that I was pretending to hang out with my old invisible friend. I sniffed the jelly beans. They smelled not quite grapey in a good way. They looked real, they felt real, and my little sister had just eaten some. Rule number 1 for scientists is this. There is always a logical explanation for things. I just had to figure out what it was. Maybe the jelly beans weren't real, and I was just tired or sick, delirious even. I checked my forehead. Unfortunately, I did not seem to have a fever. Maybe I'd gotten sunstroke at the beach. I wasn't exactly sure what sunstroke was, but it sounded like something that might make you see flying cats and magic jelly beans. Maybe I was asleep, stuck in the middle of a long, weird, totally annoying dream. Still, didn't the jelly beans in my hand seem extremely real? Maybe I was just hungry. Hunger can make you feel pretty weird, even pretty crazy. I ate my first jelly bean slowly and carefully. If you take tiny bites, your food lasts longer. A voice in my head said, "Never take candy from strangers." But Robin had survived, and if there was a stranger involved, he was an invisible one. There had to be a logical explanation, but for now, the only thing I knew for sure was that purple jelly beans tasted way better than bran cereal. Okay, readers, in your notebook, go ahead and pause the video and write down if you think the jelly beans came from Crenshaw, or do you think that the jelly beans came from someone else? Go ahead and write that in your notebook. And then we're going to move on to chapter 5. So you'll want to pause the video, and in your writer's notebook, I'm going to show you how we're going to answer this question. Hi, readers. You should have paused the video to get your reader's notebook. In your reader's notebook, you're going to turn to a clean page and write the date at the top. And today's date would be 1/11/21. Now, if it's not the same as mine, go ahead and write the correct date. And then we are going to write at the top what chapter we were on. Now that was chapter, and I can abbreviate CH.4. I predict the jelly beans came from, and now you're going to finish the sentence. I predict the jelly beans came from, and do you think they came from Crenshaw, the invisible cat, or do you think that they came from maybe another adult, someone else, or they were left behind? Go ahead and write what you predict, but then you're going to need to write why you think that. So what clues from the book make your thinking your prediction? we're going to use the word because. Because, now here's where you're going to put after because your evidence. What evidence from the book makes you think that? Okay, I can't wait to hear your thinking. So please go ahead and write down your thinking now, and then we'll continue on to chapter 5. Okay, readers, we are on chapter 5. The first time I met Crenshaw, I was about 3 years ago, right after first grade ended. It was early evening, and my family and I had parked at a rest stop on a highway. I was lying on the grass near a picnic table, gazing up at the stars blinking to life. I heard a noise, a wheels on gravel skateboard sound. I sat up on my elbows. Sure enough, a skater on a board was threading his way through the parking lot. I could see right away that he was an unusual guy. He was a black and white kitten, a big one, taller than me. His eyes were the sparkly color of a morning grass. He was wearing a black and orange San Francisco Giants baseball cap. Ooh, friends, you might have a connection with that if you know who the San Francisco Giants are. He hopped off his board and headed my way. He was standing on 2 legs just like a human. Meow, he said. Meow, I said back because it seemed polite. He leaned close and sniffed my hair. Do you have any purple jelly beans? I jumped to my feet. It was his lucky day. I just happened to have 2 purple jelly beans in my jeans pocket. They were a little smushed, but we each ate one anyway. I told the cat my name was Jackson. He said, yes, of course it is. I asked him what his name was. He asked what did I want his name to be. It was a surprising question, but I had already figured out he was a surprising guy. I thought for a while. It was a big decision. People care a lot about names. Finally, I said, Crenshaw would be a good name for a cat, I think. He didn't smile because cats don't smile, but I could tell he was pleased. Crenshaw it is, he said. Okay, readers, now we know how when he was 3 years old, this is when he first met Crenshaw, and he even got to name him himself. So this is where his imaginary friend comes from. Okay, next we'll move on to chapter 6 tomorrow.